Good afternoon, everyone. I am Kathleen Meisler, and right now I will be talking to you about the philosophy of education, school of thoughts, postmodernism, poststructuralism, and education. So, what is philosophy of education? It is a branch of philosophy that deals with the study of education and its principles, goals, and methods. So it examines questions such as what education is, what are its purpose, and what it should entail. It is concerned with how individuals learn, how they should be taught, and what should be the ultimate goals of the education. So philosophy of education involves a range of topics. It includes the role of the teacher, the nature of the learner, the aims of education, and the content and methods of teaching. It also deals with issues of equity, justice, and social responsibility in education. But we are focusing on the school of thoughts in philosophy of education and its subtopics. First, let us know what is school of thoughts and education. School of thoughts. In the philosophy of education, a school of thought refers to a particular approach or perspective on the nature and purpose of education. These different schools of thought can have significant implications for how educators design and implement curricula, assess learning, and interact with students. There are many different schools of thought in the philosophy of education, each with its own unique perspective on how purpose of education and how it should be structured. Some of the most prominent schools of thought in the philosophy of education includes perennialism. So this school of thought emphasizes the study of great works and ideas from the past as a way of developing students' understanding of the world and their place in it. It is rooted in the belief that there are certain universal truths, principles, and values that transcend time and place and should be the focus of education. So, perennialists believe that education should focus on developing critical thinking skills and cultivating an appreciation for timeless truths and enduring values. The next is essentialism. So, essentialists believe that education should focus on teaching a core set of essential knowledge and skills such as reading, writing, and math that are necessary for success in life. So, this school of thought emphasizes the importance of rigorous academic standards, and a strong teacher centered approach to instruction. So, next we have progressivism. Progressivists believe that education should be centered around the needs and interests of individual students and that learning should be an active, hands on process. This school of thought emphasizes student centered teaching methods and the development of critical thinking, problem solving, and communication skills. Next, constructivism. This school of thought emphasizes the role of active construction of knowledge by the learner instead of the passive reception of information from the teacher. So it argues that learning is most effective when it is meaningful to the learner and when learners can connect new information to their prior knowledge and experiences. These are just a few of the many school of thoughts in the philosophy of education. So each has its own strengths and weaknesses, and different approaches may be more appropriate for different students and educational context. So let's move on to the subtopic of school of thoughts. First is postmodernism. Postmodernism has influenced many areas of contemporary education, especially philosophy, education, women's studies, and literature. It is so pervasive that the term postmodern is common in ordinary language. So, postmodernism is a school of thought that emerged in the mid 20th century and it has a significant impact on many areas of study, including philosophy of education. Postmodernism challenges the notion of absolute truth and objective reality, arguing instead that all knowledge is constructed and shaped by social, cultural, and historical factors. In the philosophy of education, postmodernism challenges the traditional view of education as a process of transmitting objective knowledge from teacher to student. Instead, postmodernists argue that knowledge is always subjective and contextual and that education should focus on helping students understand and navigate the complex, multi-faced world they lived in. However, Postmodernism has also been criticized for promoting relativism and for undermining the value of objective truth and critical inquiry. Critics argue that without a shared understanding of truth and reality, it becomes difficult to evaluate the effectiveness of educational practices or to develop a coherent educational philosophy. Postmodernism is a complex and diverse movement, and there is no one definitive set of key concepts. However, some of the main ideas and themes associated with postmodernism includes anti-foundationalism. Postmodernism rejects the idea that there are universal, objective truths or foundations for knowledge. It argues that knowledge is always contextual, constructed, and contingent on social, historical, and cultural factors. Next, deconstruction. Postmodernism emphasizes the importance of analyzing and critiquing the assumptions and values that underpin social institutions and systems of thought. This involves questioning established categories and binary oppositions, such as reasons or emotions, male or female, or culture or nature, and recognizing their constructed and arbitrary nature. Next is fragmentation. Postmodernism acknowledges the diversity and complexity of contemporary society and recognizes that there are no overarching coherent narratives or grand theories that can explain all aspects of human experience. So it emphasizes the plurality of perspectives and the need to embrace multiple competing viewpoints. Next is cultural relativism. Postmodernism challenges the idea that there is a single universal standard of cultural or moral values. Instead, it emphasizes the importance of recognizing and respecting the diversity of cultural practices and values and promote a more open and inclusive approach to difference. These are just a few of the many key concepts associated with postmodernism. It is important to note that postmodernism is a diverse and often contested movement, and there is significant debate among scholars about its precise meaning and implications. The next subtopic is poststructuralism. Poststructuralism is a theoretical approach to understanding language, culture, and society. It emerged in the 1960s and 1970s as a critic of structuralism, a theoretical approach that focused on uncovering the underlying structures of language and culture. So post-structuralism can be seen as a reaction against structuralism, a school of thought that dominated the social sciences in the mid-20th century. Structuralism emphasized the importance of underlying structures and systems in shaping human behavior, while post-structuralism rejected this idea, arguing instead that language and discourse play a crucial role in constructing reality. Post-structuralism emphasizes the importance of language and the ways in which it shapes our understanding of the world. It also focuses on power relations and how language can be used to create and maintain systems of domination and subordination. Post-structuralism is closely related to postmodernism. It is a philosophical and critical movement that challenges the traditional ways of understanding and interpreting the world. Some of the key concepts of post-structuralism include discourse. Post-structuralists argue that meaning is constructed through language and discourse. So discourse refers to the ways in which language is used to produce and reproduce social meanings and relationships. Next, power. Power is central to post-structuralist thought. Post-structuralists argue that power is not just something that individuals or groups possess, but is something that is distributed throughout social relationships and structures. Power is understood as the pervasive force that shapes social relations, knowledge production, and, of course, subjectivity. Third, deconstruction. Post-structuralists use the technique of deconstruction to challenge fixed meanings and binary oppositions. Deconstruction involves identifying the ways in which meanings are constructed through language and discourse, and revealing the contradictions and complexities within those meanings. Next is subjectivity. Post-structuralists reject the idea of a fixed, unified subject. So, meaning they argue that subjectivity is fragmented and contradictory and is shaped by language, discourse, and social relationships. So, overall, post-structuralism can help educators create a more critical and reflective approach to teaching, one that is aware of the power dynamics inherent in the classroom and seeks to create a more inclusive and equitable learning environment. In the field of education, post-structuralism has been influential in challenging traditional approaches to teaching and learning and emphasizing the importance of understanding the social and historical context of educational practices. It has also been used to critique power dynamics within educational institutions and to advocate for more inclusive and democratic approaches to education. Let's move on to subtopic education in school of thoughts. So education in school of thoughts generally involves studying the theories, ideas, and concepts associated with a particular school of thought, as well as the historical and social context that gave rise to it. This might involve reading key texts or engaging in debates and discussions with other students and scholars who are interested in the same school of thought. So education in schools of thought can be valuable for a number of reasons. For one, it can help students develop a deep understanding of the subject matter and gain insights that they might not have otherwise. It can also help them develop critical thinking skills as they are forced to analyze and evaluate different perspectives and arguments. So, furthermore, education in schools of thought can help students become more well rounded individuals by exposing them to a variety of different ideas and viewpoints. It can also help them develop a sense of intellectual curiosity and a lifelong passion for learning as they continue to explore and engage with different schools of thought throughout their lives. Education in school of thought is important for several reasons. Deeper understanding. Education in school of thought allows individuals to gain a deeper understanding of a particular field or subject. By studying the theories, ideas, and concepts associated with a particular school of thought, individuals can gain a more nuanced and comprehensive understanding of the subject matter. Second, critical thinking skills. Education in school of thought can help individuals develop critical thinking skills. By engaging with different perspectives and evaluating arguments, individuals can learn to think more critically and analytically, which is a valuable skill in many areas of life. Well rounded perspective. Education and school of thought can expose individuals to a variety of different ideas and viewpoints. So, this can help individuals become more well rounded individuals and develop a more nuanced perspective on the world around them. Lifelong learning. Education and school of thought can help individuals develop a passion for learning that extends beyond the classroom. By engaging with different school of thought, individuals can continue to learn and grow throughout their lives. Career opportunities. Education in school of thought can open up a new career opportunities for individuals. By developing a deep understanding of a particular field, individuals may be able to pursue careers in that field or use their knowledge to advance their existing careers. Overall, the philosophy of education is concerned with the purpose, goals, and methods of education and how they are related to broader societal and cultural contexts. Different schools of thought offer different perspectives and approaches to these questions, and each has its own strengths and limitations. A well rounded education and school of thought can help individuals develop a deep understanding of these issues and apply this knowledge in their own lives and careers. Thank you so much for listening and watching.